I spend a lot of time talking about scenario hooks. It's because they're really important, and they're a lot more powerful than you think. One of the reasons people don't get as much mileage from scenario hooks as they could is because they're prepping linear plots. When you force the players down a linear path without choice, the function of a scenario hook is to force them onto the path. The thing about railroading is that it's boring. It's also difficult. You have to keep forcing the players or tricking the players into doing the very specific things you predetermined would move the plot forwards. That's why the scenario hooks for these adventures have to be so simple and boring. When you abandon all that, when you start prepping situations instead of plots, you can have a lot more fun with your hooks. For one thing, you can start having multiple hooks for the same scenario. When the PCs don't have to follow a specific predetermined path, you can suddenly start pointing them at many different parts of the scenario. Maybe they get involved because they've been investigating the drug trade. Or maybe they get involved because their cousin is kidnapped. Or maybe they get involved because the tunnels from the cemetery lead to the basement of Sir Isaac's mansion. Now, this obviously makes it a lot easier to deliver scenario hooks for the scenario, and also to design your campaign with the 3-clue rule in mind. And when the PCs get multiple scenario hooks, they have a really interesting choice about how and why they're going to approach the scenario. Let me give you a really simple example of this. A common type of scenario hook is patronage. An NPC approaches the PCs and asks them to do something. Kill his sister, retrieve the ruby of Obar Kadam, raise the Titanic using temporal voodoo, whatever the case may be. The next time you want to use a patron as a scenario hook, though, don't just use one patron. Use 2, and have them hire the PCs to do different things. This setup creates the context for immediately framing tough dilemmas. Okay, people, do we chase after the ninja assassin, or are we saving the Jewel of Earthasard from the River of Lava? In fact, you can do this from the very beginning of the scenario by using what I call a dilemma hook. The first patron asks them to do X, and then the second patron asks them to do the exact opposite. If patron A asks them to murder the CEO of Abletech, and patron B asks them to work as part of the CEO's security detail during an upcoming business conference, you're immediately forcing the players to really think about the scenario that they're being hooked into. What do they want to have happen to the CEO? That they can't just sit back and passively do whatever they're being told to do. They're going to have to make a decision. Now, the really cool thing is that once this empowers the players, once they know that they're in control, their choice will often be neither X nor the opposite of X. They will set their own agenda and take the game to places that none of you could have imagined. If you'd like to learn more about making awesome scenario hooks, I have an entire chapter dedicated to them in my upcoming book, So You Want to Be a Game Master, which I'll link to in the font of all knowledge down below. I'll also leave some links down there to the other videos we've done on scenario hooks. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Good gaming. What? We forgot to do the intro? Play the intro. I'm Justin Alexander, and I'll see you at the table.